What if I told you an imminent nuclear strike was headed for the United States of America, and it would hit our shores? Pretty scary, isn't it? What if I told you that it was also survivable, and that it's part of the globalist elite agenda to usher in a new world order of which the United States military would be decapitated and there would be no secondary response option? In fact, in 1997, Bill Clinton signed PDD 60 under the guise of a lot of secrecy and changed the entire directive and decision-making process around a first response launching on warning if and when we were struck by China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, or America's long list of enemies. Changing the ballgame and how our military system, our nuclear defenses would respond if nuclear warheads were on their way. Why? What's the agenda behind that? And why would we wait to absorb a strike first on our shores, ensuring millions and millions potentially dead?
All personnel take shelter immediately.
The terrifying message screamed across cell phones throughout the state. Ballistic missile threat.
Urging people to take shelter due to an incoming ballistic missile.
Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? You ever get the feeling something's wrong? It's like people are just minding their own business, like sheep being led to slaughter, and they're not thinking for themselves. Notice how most of the population actually lives in what I call population centers. They're in cities. That's where most people are. In fact, it's people that will be most dangerous in a situation like we've just described. Lack of resources, lack of food, lack of water. Will your neighbor be friendly in that kind of environment? And are you prepared? You know, I look at the geopolitical events going on right now worldwide. I've been reporting on this for over a decade. And I don't trust anything I'm seeing regarding the alleged peace treaty with North Korea. Notice the Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, just met not with Kim Jong-un, that's telling in and of itself, but some of his underlings. And they said that the meeting was regrettable, that the United States was looking for unilateral nuclear disarmament. This is a rogue state, by the way, that can hit any major city in the United States of America. A proxy for China, a proxy for Russia, and a proxy for Iran. So where is this headed? How are they going to reset this economic time bomb? $20+ trillion in debt on the debt clock and growing every single day. More instability on the horizon across the pond. Talks of a Brexit and an ideological, soon-to-be physical civil war here in the United States of America. Right versus left, engineered to divide and conquer the masses. So where is this headed? And can North Korea be trusted? Now, I'm pro-Donald Trump. I voted for him. I'll vote for him again. But are we to believe that Kim Jong-un, after having witnessed and seen people like Saddam Hussein, who gave up his nuclear possessions, assassinated, Muammar Gaddafi, assassinated by the deep state, are we to really believe and assume that Kim Jong-un is going to change his mind? Well, we're going to start building beachfront luxury condos on the shorefront of North Korea, a Starbucks and McDonald's on every corner? Are we really that dumb? Although I'd like to believe all that. I'd like to believe, honestly, what the mainstream media is telling me, that all is peaceful in the world and there's nothing to fear. I can't help but realize and know internally that that's not the truth. Why is Donald Trump escalating a trade war with China? Why are increased tensions all over the media in regards to Russia? The trade war we keep hearing. We keep seeing the Chinese military building up these bases in the East China Sea, really violating the sovereignty of our allies, Japan and Taiwan, dredging up islands. Their military-industrial complex soon to rival the United States of America. And the question I ask is, are you ready? Again, many think that a nuclear attack like the one I've described will not be survivable. But I beg to differ. This is actually the agenda of the New World Order, so that the United States military-industrial complex is decapitated, and there is no secondary response option. And there is no alternative but to join a one-world government. We're seeing it now. They used to tell us it was a conspiracy. Remember, globalism was a conspiracy? Now it's not a conspiracy, it's just the agenda. Open, out in the open, in plain sight for everybody to see. Again, how are they going to address this debt bomb? 0% interest rates, $1 trillion worth of bailouts, things I talk about on a daily basis. It's one of the reasons I'm so bullish on cryptocurrency, because it's an alternative to worthless fiat money, printed and backed by nothing. It's the future. What do you think? Is all peaceful in the world? Are we not due for a world engagement, a world war, and inevitably a nuclear conflict of which to reset the entire global population? Another question you should ask yourself is, do they need you? We constantly hear from all these billionaires how they think now they should give us free money. They're calling it universal income. Richard Branson the other day said they should just dole out free cash to all of us peasants. Well, if you're going to do that, why do you even need us? You don't. They've created the largest wealth gap in the history of the world for a reason, and now they're planning a massive reset. It's amazing with this concentration of populations in the cities and on our shores. Look at the coast of California, for example. There's so many people there. San Diego. I just visited. Beautiful place. All with strategic strike points that our enemies will potentially hit in the future. Just a couple of weeks ago, they were planning here in Arizona. One of the reasons I relocated, and not that this is perfect in this state, but they were planning for an influx of about 400,000 refugees coming from California if and when there is some kind of horrific event like I just described.
Have a place to go after the disaster?
Ron Tallman is among the 400,000 Californians fleeing to Arizona in drills this week.
What are they planning for? Are we living in ignorance? You see, the long tried and true dominance of the United States, its sovereignty over the oil trade, we're seeing this shake up in the Middle East with Saudi Arabia, is being threatened by a new system. It's being threatened by the rising East, China, Russia. We see this in the propaganda war. We saw this during and throughout the election. Something that the radical left really believes, that Russia hacked the election. As if the United States doesn't hack the Russian elections. They do. Not only does the United States hack elections, they invade sovereign foreign countries. For example, it's one of the reasons why the United States has been putting so much pressure on the Bashar al-Assad government in orchestrating false flag chemical attacks in places like Ghouta, confirmed, not my opinion, by the United Nations, and figureheads like Carla Del Ponte. This is all hard-hitting and in-your-face truth and evidence of what's really going on. And the reason the agenda is to take out Syria is because Syria could very likely threaten the stability of Israel, and the likelihood of Iran retaliating is high. You see, folks, what we're experiencing in the world today is biblical in nature. It's a biblical event, and it's certain to happen. Are Americans asleep at the wheel? These are things that keep me up at night, and there are things that I think about on a regular basis. It's one of the reasons I've taken so many precautions to prepare myself, my family, my friends, and my loved ones. I'd like you to honestly take a look at today's video and ask some basic questions. Are you prepared? Do you have food? Do you have water? Do you have shelter? A bug out plan? Is your family knowledgeable on what to do in a situation like I just described? Just about a month or so ago, in Hawaii, there was allegedly a fat thumb that sent out warnings across the entire island and the United States here in the continental USA that an incoming ICBM, intercontinental ballistic missile, was about to hit, just like we experienced with Pearl Harbor. A trade war, an oil embargo against Japan, which resulted in the death of thousands of individuals and eventually World War II, to rally the masses behind another unpopular war. How do you think Americans are going to respond and allied nations are going to respond this time, after total devastation and potential annihilation? We saw this on September 11, 2001. Well, it brought the country together against what would have been very unpopular wars. Wars that had nothing to do with September 11, 2001, and the official narrative, according to the Pentagon. Invasions of Iraq and Afghanistan. In fact, Mike Pompeo is there today negotiating, making his presence known. See, they'll feign peace. They'll make you think this is the lie, the propaganda, the bull that they sell you. Oh yeah, things are fine in North Korea. They'll be giving up their arms. No, they won't. Talk is cheap. Actions speak louder than words. And unless Kim Jong-un is willing to give us a blueprint of total disarmament and allow potentially the redevelopment and development of luxury condos on his shorefronts and the investment of Starbucks and McDonald's on every corner, I'm sorry, but I'm not a believer. Reunification of North and South Korea will be the worst nightmare of China. Remember when Donald Trump had that meeting, when he started first airstriking Syria right after he had got into the White House, and he, kind of pulled over to Mr. Xi over at China and said, hey, I'm bombing Syria right now. What do you think about it? Over some chocolate cake? How do you think that went over? And do you not think that China and Russia are playing the long game? Has communism ever really or truly collapsed? I could argue that a sleeper cell within the Russian Federation has been at work for decades. These are things that we have feared our entire lives. Many of you baby boomers tuning in remember having to get underneath your desks during the Cold War. The installation of bomb shelters, and by the way, the elites are building bomb shelters all over the world. Places like the Ozarks. The tech elite are moving very rapidly to places like New Zealand, which in my view will probably be occupied during a World War III scenario. So are you ready? Are you prepared? Have you strategically relocated? Do you have food? Do you have water? Are you asleep? I'm Christopher Green. I'd like to hear what you guys think, what you're doing to prepare. Also, for more information, for free, to download our Ultimate Survival Kit. All you have to do is click the link below, give us your email. And that way you'll get our next video, which I'll follow up from this one. What are you guys doing to prepare? Are you ready? Give it a thumbs up, add a comment. You're watching AMTV, Alternative Media Television. Hard hitting and in your face. Hey guys, if you haven't already, please consider food storage. And if you do, click the link below and get it at our store.amtvmedia.com. We've got special promos on 30, 60, 90 days and more, and a blowout sale on our 1-year 4-person deluxe emergency preparedness food kit. Has over 20,000 servings. Price shop it on Amazon. We kick the crap out of them. Amazon sucks. Are about $200 off, I think, the Amazon price. If you shop it, $500 off if you compare it over at some of the other online websites. You can't get it any cheaper. It supports what we do, and more importantly, it prepares you, your family, and your loved ones. Gives you peace of mind. And in fact, I just bought more food storage myself for my family. God bless. Thank you so much for your support. Click the link below.